betrayed by his own brothers, sold for silver, forgotten in prison. Joseph's story is more than ancient history. It is a prophetic shadow of another man who would one day be betrayed, rejected, and lifted up to save the world. This is not only the story of Joseph, it is the story of how God turns suffering into destiny. Joseph was deeply loved by his father Jacob. The robe he wore was more than clothing. It represented favor. But favor often attracts jealousy. Joseph's brothers hated what God placed upon his life. Sometimes, people attack not who you are, but what God has called you to become. Before God elevates someone publicly, he often marks them privately first. Just as Joseph was beloved by his father, Jesus too was called, "This is my beloved son." God gave Joseph dreams of greatness, but dreams from heaven often create warfare on earth. His brothers could not see destiny. They only saw pride. Sometimes, God reveals your future to you before anyone else can understand it. A God-given dream will often isolate you before it elevates you. Like Joseph, Jesus also spoke of a coming kingdom people could not understand. Hatred finally became action. Joseph's own brothers grabbed him, ripped away his robe, and threw him into a pit. Then, they sold him for silver. The chosen son became a slave. Sometimes, the pit is not punishment. It is separation. God will remove you from places that cannot carry your destiny. Joseph was sold for silver by his brothers. Centuries later, Jesus would also be betrayed for silver. The pit looked like the end. No family, no future, no rescue. But heaven saw something different. God was not destroying Joseph, he was developing him. Hidden seasons are often preparation seasons. God develops character in darkness before revealing purpose in light. In Egypt, Joseph became a servant in Potiphar's house. He had every reason to become bitter. But Joseph chose faithfulness instead of anger. Even in slavery, God's presence remained with him. Your environment does not cancel God's calling. Even in unfair places, God can still bless your life. Like Joseph, Jesus came not to be served, but to serve. Inside prison walls, Joseph disappeared from history, forgotten by men, but not forgotten by God. Heaven was still writing his story. Delay is not denial. Just because God is silent does not mean he is absent. Then, suddenly, everything changed. Pharaoh was troubled by terrifying dreams. No one could interpret them. But God had already prepared Joseph for this moment. In one day, the prisoner stood before a king. God can change your life in a single moment. Years of pain can lead to one moment of divine promotion. Pharaoh placed Joseph over all Egypt. The slave became a ruler. The prisoner wore royal robes. What looked like tragedy had actually been divine positioning all along. God will use pain to place you where purpose can be fulfilled. Joseph was lifted up to save nations from famine. Jesus was lifted up on a cross to save humanity from sin. Years later, Joseph's brothers stood before him, the same brothers who betrayed him. Now, Joseph had the power to destroy them, but instead, he chose forgiveness. Through tears, Joseph said, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Forgiveness is proof that healing has happened. Like Joseph forgave those who hurt him, Jesus prayed, "Father, forgive them." Joseph's story was never only about suffering. It was about transformation. The pit was preparation. The prison was preparation. The pain was preparation. God was building a savior for nations. And Joseph became a prophetic picture of Jesus Christ. Rejected, betrayed, suffering, then lifted up to save many. Because sometimes God hides purpose inside pain.